Okay, good morning. This is lab 212, opens in a 3-wire circuit. What I've done is I've gone ahead and wired it up as per the diagram. I've got R1 and R4 60-watt light bulbs. The rest of the light bulbs are matching, or I've installed Insteadicone heaters that they asked for. Procedure 1, they ask us to do some pre-calculations on expectations for the circuit. I've anticipated around a 108 volts from my line to neutral, and based on my R is equal to E squared over P, I've expected to see roughly 2.2 amps coming out of my line 1 and 2.2 amps returning. And because we have a little bit of an imbalance here between our R3 and R6 loads, I expect to see a little bit of current on that jumper J3 out here, which I've roughly estimated about 0.2. But at J2 and J1, I don't anticipate to see any current on those guys. All right, so we're going to power this guy up. It's a little bright. Okay, first off, I can measure my voltages to make sure that my source voltage is what I anticipated to see. And then they're going to ask us for the current values. So my line to neutrals are roughly the 108, I think. So we got 107.6. and 107.2, so closer to 107, but we'll go with that. Okay. My line 1 conductor, I anticipate 2.2, and we're climbing to, I've got 2.1, 2.2 there. My line 2, I should see the same, 2.2 there, and my neutral initially should see 0. Which we have. This jumper J2 still has 0, but remember I anticipated some current on J3, and I've got the 0.2 amps that I anticipated there based on my calculations. Okay, so next step, we're going to power down. Step 5, they ask us to open up jumper J3. Now in doing so, jumper J3 removed, we're looking at creating an open neutral situation on that back end with between R3 and R6. Pardon me, these ones here. But all the other loads, R1 through R4, should still see their roughly 108 volts across. And I've got this all sketched out. Okay, let's take some measurements here. Now we're just not concentrating on current. We're going to look at voltages. Tough to see, but you can see that this 100-watt light bulb's a little bit brighter than that guy. I shouldn't say tough to see, I just don't want to stare at it. Okay, my voltages, R1, we're going to see the 107, which we have. We've got 107 there. R2, we've got 107 again. R5, we've got 107. And R3 and R6, now we're going to see a difference. Okay, so R3, which is bright, is sitting at 135. And R6 is sitting at 79. So 107 to 79, we should see a voltage difference between that open neutral point of about 28 volts, which is what we have, 28.36. Okay, I'm going to power that down. That was step 5. All right, now I'm looking for step 7. Step 7, they ask us to open jumper J2. Okay, and in doing so, we create 2 open neutral scenarios. All right, so we're going to see the same rough values that we had previously on what are we going to be, R2 and R4. Okay, but the difference in voltage between the jumper J3 is going to be significantly higher. Sorry, you can't really see that. I've estimated it to be roughly 55 volts. We're going to see the 28 across J2 now. 28 originally was at J3 when this was intact, but now it's shifted over a little bit. Okay, we'll power that guy up. Now we're going to verify. We should still have our 107 there, which we do. This guy's 107 here. Okay, this one here should be the 180. This guy will be the 133 or 135. There we go. Okay, this one here previously was the 135, which it is. And there we got the 79. Okay, so across J2 we should see the 28 volts-ish, roughly there, which actually we're down a little bit. We're at about 26 volts. Okay, but here we should see around 55 volts. which we have basically 53.9. Okay, so that's substantially higher because that guy's seeing 135 to like 80. Okay, so that's about 55 volts. Okay, power that guy down. So that was step 7. Step 9, they ask us to completely open the neutral circumstance by removing J1. And the anticipation here is there shouldn't be any change in here because those 60 watt light bulbs are balanced. However, I've done a little bit of pre-wiring on this, and I can tell you that these light bulbs are slightly different, so we do end up having a little bit of voltage change here. Okay, because we've got at this guy here 110, and this guy here is the 106 or 104. Okay, so we're going to see about 2 volts there. Sorry, going across the neutral is where we want to be. We got 3 volts across that. So that changes step 9 a little bit, because step 9 we anticipated to see 0 volts there, and then these values staying the same. Okay, but because we got 2 light bulbs that are not exactly the same resistance, it kind of messed that one up. We're going to power that guy down. Moving on to step 12. Step 12, they ask us to replace all of the neutrals. Okay, so we're going to replace all of this stuff. All right, and then they ask us to open up line 1. So by opening up line 1, initially, we're going to see 0 volts across loads 1, 2, and 3, okay? And then 4, 5, and 6 should still see their same source voltage, all right? I'm going to power that up, and you can see it's exactly that. And I'll just verify one of the loads up here that's not working to show that it's actually got 0 volts across it, which it does. Okay? We have no way of backfeeding that circuit yet until we do step 14, which is removing jumper J2. And by removing jumper J2, what they get us to do is create a combination circuit out here that goes from line 2 all the way back through the R1 to neutral. So we're going to see a substantial voltage out here at the 60 watt bulb and next to nothing here. I've anticipated 5 volts at each of these and 98 there. Okay, so we're going to power this up now, and you can see that R1 and R4 are still lit up. I'm going to verify that I've got the 5 volts here, which I do. There's 5 there and 5 at the bottom of that. Okay, and across R1 I should see about 98, which I've got 97.6. Okay, so the 97.6 plus the 10 out here is our 108. That would have mean we would have had the 108 there, which we've actually got 111. Okay, so anytime we've ever done a voltage drop across an open fuse or a broken fuse, we take the 240 source new values and subtract it from the original. So my line to line here is 219. If we subtracted the 10 volts out here, we should get roughly across that open fuse 209, which we do. We've got 208.9, 209. All right, so that was step 14. And that completes that lab. They ask us to clean it up, which I'll do shortly here. And we'll talk about this in the Learning Hub. Thank you.